When?
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment is here. The main event of the evening. I'm Jeremiah Gallegos, your world-class ring announcer, to introduce Boxing Podcast. And now, to introduce your host, Derek, a.k.a. Cole. And across the ring, introducing Matty Fresh. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's golden time.
All right, all right, all right.
Good morning, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram Live. We trying it again. Yeah, we straight. This morning we got a friend of mine. What's the Chambers? What's the Chambers versus Perkins? What's the some things? What do I not know?
Well, I mean, my mom and my dad, it's my father's name. I mean, I've grown up with, yeah. It's a little story that's kind of messed up, so.
Oh yeah, I just didn't want to.
Well, we come out
on Facebook. It was a different name or something like that. But anyway, Danielle Perkins, amateur world champion. How many times national champion?
I was the national champion, four-time national.
Four-time national champion. That means you could ass kick about 4 times more than regular people.
I was gonna say, Daniel, you and I, we have some things in common. We're both Golden Glove champions, and well, actually, that's where it stops because then you're a 4-time national champion. You're a world gold medalist, Continental medalist, ranked number 1 in the world in 2018 and 2019. So yeah, you're fully loaded, and now you're about to go pro.
Yeah, I'm supposed to fight. Fighting on Forrest's card on July 11th. Here.
Okay. Now they're gonna have an audience or no?
I think it's streamed. All the fights are gonna be streamed. I'm not sure when that's gonna change, but
yeah,
it's good. I like that.
Yeah. Well, Coach,
I think all them dates for the top ranking in Vegas is all nine gate too.
Yeah.
No audience, man.
No undercards either.
I don't think that's gonna bother you guys that's real steeped in amateur boxing because you used to fighting with minimum crowds or nothing but the boxing people that outside of the top tournaments and stuff. But I think about those pros who only know pro fighting walking out. I wonder how that'll affect them because I think it does. I think it will affect them, no cheering section, no nothing, just quiet.
we were watching. I was watching that show, or what? I don't know what it was. It was some sporting event with no audience, and it felt so weird. The energy, I think, and I hope that these guys realize how important the fans are, because it brings a certain level of energy that's ridiculous. I think I even said it on the show one time. If they're not going to have an audience, they should have at least the speaker system on to have an audience effect, because I think it does play to a certain level. Yeah.
It could be a little biased though, right? Because it depends on who's.
Hey, not to throw stones, but them punk ass Atlanta Falcons used to pipe in audience noise,
Yeah.
What can you do when your fans are so you're such a shitty team and your fans are so little?
We're losing. We just lost all of our Atlanta fans. I'm seeing them just.
Who that? No, but you're right to have some ambiance and set the stage. Maybe you have some kind of murmur, some white noise or whatever they call it. That some record popping or something. Who knows? I don't know how you do that. This is unheard of. But I'm just glad we're getting back to fight. That's what I'm doing. And
So let's talk.
go ahead.
I want to talk about her amateur career and how she got started because
Oh, me too.
Were you a late start?
Well, yeah, I started boxing really like 6 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I never even thought about it. I've been played basketball my whole life, and then at some point, it was taken from me. I was walking across the street. I was playing in Spain, and usually, you know how contracts work. You get a contract in the beginning of the year, and then someone will come back around and be like, offer you double on your monthly, and you pack up your stuff and you leave. So I was in Spain, and a team from Turkey made a contact, and they wanted me to come over to a bigger league because I was a FIBA Cup, which is kind of like I like to call it the overseas D2.
Right. Okay.
Trying to get to
Yeah.
like Euro League, so
Yeah.
this is like a
Uh-huh.
low Euro League team, which would have been a good step for my career. So I came home, and it was like a 2 week little period where I had to wait. And in that 2 week period, I was walking across the street, coming from the gym, and I got hit by a taxi.
What?
Yeah, fractured my skull, dislocated my shoulder, um, like messed up my hips, and I was paralyzed for about 4 months. Um, and it
Good
changed my
Lord.
perspective. Yeah, it changed my perspective on life. That's the way I you grow up through certain things in life, force you to grow up and force your mental capacity to change. So that changed my thought process. So I don't really fear much after surviving that.
Right.
So it's just like,
I bet.
yeah. So it took some time. It took me about 2.5 years to fully recover and get back, and I just could not get back to basketball. So more time passed. It was roughly about 5 years before I started like training kind of intensely.
Uh-huh.
Um, then I took my first fight. Sonia Lomanakis was on the apron. She was like, you'll do fine. Don't be nervous. And I walked in the ring. The girl hit me, because you go from sparring and you tap gloves. So I went to tap gloves and she punched me in the face. I was like,
Wicked move. Wicked move.
like that's. So I knocked out. 40 seconds later, it was
Nice.
over. I was like, "Kid, this is disrespectful. This sport's strange."
Yeah.
So that's how it all started.
That,
Now Perkins, that's not. You have relation? Is it relation to what's this guy's name? Perkins in the NBA.
Oh, Kendrick.
Yeah, Kendrick.
Nah, I've seen this dude a bunch. He looks like my cousin, Jamie, but
No, he ain't no relation. All right. And
nice.
go ahead.
Manny is a basketball guy.
Yeah.
I love basketball.
Yeah.
Still do.
I quit watching basketball when Michael Jordan ruined the game. It wasn't fair no more. Once I seen a dude fly, score points with his eyes closed, that shit ain't even fair, man. I quit watching. I used to pray the Bulls plane go down on the way. No, I'm picking. I agree that Michael Jordan's the best I ever seen play basketball. And it was amazing to watch that guy that, coming up and then take over and win all that stuff. But that wasn't my squad, so I was like, man, this shit ain't even fair, man. I'm gonna watch boxing. I'm a full-time boxer, man.
So how we gotta
from Chicago, he brings up Michael Jordan I find a way to bring Joe Louis. This time we'll be talking about airplanes. And you'll say, well, you know who else?
you know who else flies? How was Coach got we got a guy that came into the gym, and coach started training him. He was I guess he was a big deal in college, U of H basketball player, and coach started training him. How was the transition? And I know coach made the comment, and I'll let him elaborate here in a second, but he made the comment that if anyone's going to switch over from another sport, that he prefers basketball players versus like football players or somebody else, just because of the training, the agility of it.
Right.
So how was it for you transitioning from basketball over to boxing?
Well, I mean, to the hand-eye coordination,
Right.
the constant endurance. Like unlike football, we don't take any time off. No dig on football players, but it's gonna be it's harder for you guys. There's no switch from offense to defense. That transitions real quick. The only issue that really kind of presents itself on a normal basis is the footwork. I'm used to taking large, quick steps and turning. In boxing, it's like it's inches. It's really small, and that really makes a difference between what's thrown and that spatial awareness. Like if you're a good defender, you'll get right up in someone's chest. If you're a great boxer, you keep that distance and you just box. It's a different ball game.
1,000%.
Right. I don't think it's not the fact that it's transitional skills. It's the fact that basketball players have agility and movement and stuff that you can convert it to boxing. You know, a little more easier than like the football players. It's such a different skill set. Basketball is a different skill set, but the football players' whole mindset of where the strength is and leverage and all that is completely opposite for me. You know, leaning in the shit, you get knocked out. You know, in football, you need to lean in the shit to get leverage. You know, it doesn't really
Translate.
translate. And especially when you get like a lineman or something who's, you know, the big in their world, they're the tough guys, they're the big, strong, tough guys, you know, and they come over to the boxing and get hit in the nose real hard, and you can't lean on a guy to stop him. He's gonna keep hitting you in the nose, you know, if you lean it toward him. You know, that's very elementary understanding. But give me a soccer player or a basketball player. Hell, I'll take a swimmer over a football player.
Yeah.
But not that football players can't do it. You know, if a guy wants to do it, he just got to train hard. But I prefer if it's a guy who played at a collegiate level or professional level. Give me a basketball player or something like that. I convert him into a fighter. You know, he can take the pressure. But that's how I see it anyway. There's always exceptions to the rule, but that's how I see it.
You know, coaches have a different eye.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who you what gym you walked in? Who started you off? Who's your, I know you over there with correct me if I'm wrong, you at O Athletic. That's where you and I met.
Yes, sir.
And you with Coop, you with James Coop, I believe. Is that the first gym you went to, or how it started?
No, I started in Gleason's in New York.
Oh, that's history right there.
Yeah, that's my gym. That's where I won my first Golden Gloves. Was fighting out of Gleason's.
New York Golden Gloves.
Yeah, that's where I met like Peter Quinlan and Sean Porter, Fire, Heather the Heat Hardy, like, and Sonia Lamanakis. I've met like a lot of champions, and they've always said to me very clearly, if you're not trying to be a champion in this sport, quit.
Girl, you didn't ease on in, huh? You went up there to the
I was like,
real
is this where people box?
Yeah, man, it's a historic gym. Gleason's, I believe, started it's in a different place, not in the original, like way back, but it's the same people. Yeah, man. Damn, that's all right. So you was in New York?
Yeah, I'm from New York. I'm from
okay.
Boogie down Bronx.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. I thought I heard the Bronx.
Don't deal with the Bronx, man.
Oh, my bad.
Brooklyn, just don't deal with people from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Tons of offense, man. Forget the Bronx.
I thought I heard the Bronx. My bad.
So how long were you fighting up there, and how you ended up here?
So I started at Gleason's 2014. Yeah, I started at Gleason's at 2014, won the Golden Gloves. And then all right, so this is gonna sound, I broke my leg. I was running a race. I flew off a mountain and I broke my leg, so I had to take like 2
I love stories like that.
You don't
I was running a race. Listen, every fighter has a thing like, I could do anything. So I didn't train for this race, and then like this the company that I work for put me into the race. Is like 18 miles, 22 obstacles. So we're running down the mountain, and I'm not from the mountain. I'm from the hood, concrete jungle. So I'm not aware of how to adjust to things. So I went flying off this mountain. I swore to God I was gonna die. My leg just broke. I finished the race. I just thought it was swollen, and then I went to the doctor. He was like, "Your leg's broken," and I was like, "That's crazy."
Jesus Christ. You don't mess up a little bit, do you? When you mess up,
full on. Like if we're gonna break it down, we gotta break it down.
You're gonna do it right.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right. Oh, that's terrible. So you fell off. So when you fell off the mountain, what happened next?
Well, I got up. I ran the race. I had 5 miles left, so I had to finish that out.
That's what you call character.
You know what I'm saying? I can't quit. I'm not gonna be like the rest of these people leaving on the stretcher. I pull up, shake it off. I finished the race. In hindsight, I probably should have got on that stretcher, but
right. There's such a thing as too tough.
Yeah, sometimes with your mind will take you a place that your body has no idea what's going on. Your mind's like, "No, we're gonna do this," and that's just how it goes.
1,000%.
So then I moved to DC. I was in DC for 10 months. I had to revamp one of our clubs, and then I moved down to Houston to open up the River Oaks location. And that's when I was trying to find, I want to get back into boxing. I want to start sparring. So I met this dude Dave, and he told me about Fashawn. He was like, you got to talk to this girl, Fashawn Living. She's a boxer, and she can kind of direct you, where you can kind of work around in Houston, where to go. So I reached out to Fashawn. She told me to come over to O, and that's how that connection started.
So, and what year was this that you started at O?
It had to be 2015. No, sorry. It had to be 17. Yeah, it was 16.
You've been there about 3 years.
Yeah.
I've been, I've always had the rule of thumb about kids starting early and boxing as a kid and coming up. And I tell you, man, stories like yours and with my own self with Quentin, man, I don't know, man. I'm kind of evolving now. I'm like, man, if you take these kids, and here's what I mean, not that these great fighters don't start as, young kids too. That's always been the pattern. But if you give me maybe a 17, 18-year-old kid who wants to, he knows he wants to fight. He's there to fight. He's not, he's not going through the paces. Whereas and there's always exceptions to everything. I'm just saying I'm evolving. Where, you start fighting at kids like me and my family and 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. By the time you're 12, damn, this fighting. I want to go hang out and do this and do that and get little girlfriends and not focus. And by the time these kids are 16, 17, and actually there's a career at the end of the tunnel, and they burn out. They don't want to do it. Not all of them, of course, but when a young adult or an adult decides to fight, I think, man, they want to fight.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of evolving back to, come to the gym at 15, 16, work out, see if you want to do it, and then we can hit it. You got time, I know that may be sacrilegious to some people, but it's just what I'm seeing with my eyes,
When we first met, we've had these conversations, and you would say, I remember, these kids, you were doubtful, or you had an opinion about as far as the late bloomers versus kids starting young, and I've seen that your perspective changed about that throughout the years. Because of the people that we've met, people that have come on the show, or people that we've seen boxing, and I love it. I get excited, I get excited when not only when I get excited when I see older people doing it, because it's like, yo, I'm up there, right? And so I'm rooting for them. I want them to succeed because it's like I'm rooting for myself. Like, we said this last time on the show. The whole Mike Tyson thing. I love that energy. Like, I love it when 50-year-olds, fucking Mike Tyson being 53, Holyfield being 57, and they still got that energy. Man, look, it ain't. I don't care. I don't care how. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, they're just hitting mitts. Yeah, they really ain't.
But that's everybody.
That's energy. That's hard. Doing 3 rounds of mitts, it's gonna wear. If you're 23, 24, it's gonna wear your ass out when doing those mitts, 5, 6 rounds. So when you got these damn near 60-year-olds out there hitting it the way they are, man, I love it. I love it.
Danielle, how old were you when you started boxing? Like for real boxing? You already had played basketball, pro basketball, right?
I think I
So
was like 31.
31. Now check this out. I remember clear as day in 2000, whatever it was, 10 or 11, whatever. And Q walks into the gym and says, I want to be a boxer. And I ran it through my little gauntlet of tests to weed out the bullshit. And he passed. And so I started training. And for a year or two, my mind was steady on, yeah, but this kid is 22 years old. The fuck, and and that's why I know myself. I know I'll be wrong. If you give me information, that's all I need, because I'm gonna look at the information, study it, and say, hey, I was wrong here or right here or whatever the case may be. And I remember having that preconceived, and you don't know. And by that time, I've been training fighters 10, 11, 12 years, and I'm going, yeah, but this kid is 22 years old, man. And I freely admit I'm wrong as two left shoes, and it wasn't just him. It was with people like you, all the fighters who made it to the mountaintop, and they in their mid to late 30s, and they getting winning titles and shit. I'm like, maybe we was getting people's brains beat in a little too soon. You know what I'm saying? Maybe these kids, when their brain's still developing, shouldn't be getting punched in it. And let's wait a little later. I'm just evolving. I'm never gonna get rid of the kid. If he wants to box, we'll box. But I've come around to that and realized not to rule out anybody. See their ability, see their drive, because that's the key to me. Drive, and it don't matter if you fight. I'm gonna teach you how to fight. The other shit I can't.
Right, and I think that's the important part, right? So if you surround yourself with the right people and you get the right team around you, you get the right coaches, when you're mature, it's a lot easier to stay committed because you understand what you want. And then you being on the basketball side of it, and you reached a certain level where you're fighting across seas, and you're playing ball across seas and in different countries, and you're tasting professional sports on a different level. So when you get over to boxing, you're thinking, all right, well, I already know what it's like to be a professional. I already know what it's like to be on a stage. Now I just got to bring my game up in boxing so I can get on that stage. So that level of commitment and discipline and understanding what you want is there versus a kid who
their daddy used to box,
right?
Used to box.
Or they're being forced to go to the gym, right? So there's arguments for both sides,
Right, absolutely. I'm not negating the other
side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, team sports I think are great for kids. I think team sports teach social skills. They teach you management. They teach you how to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. I think team sports are good for kids. Like, that's why even like Team USA, they like, the youth team, the junior team. Those are great. But what people don't realize is that even in team sports, you got to stand out. If you want to grow, you want to be somebody. LeBron doesn't blend in. Jordan doesn't blend in. These are not people who are overlooked. So the beauty of team sports is that essentially people get to blend in until they develop. With boxing, you don't get to blend in. You get exposed. So
right. Boy. Yeah.
You got to be prepared to mentally fight. And most people, when I see someone cry after a fight, I'm thinking, well, why are you crying? If you gave everything you got. Yeah, I get the emotional pain of it hurting, but don't let nobody see that. You still got to hold it together. Because if you gave everything you got, you lost in a basketball game, and you cry, you get in that locker room, you getting slammed. You hold that until you get home.
All right.
So you were how long were you boxing before you made the team? The national team.
2 years.
That's crazy, man. That's so. How was? Well, let me back up. I don't want to skip nothing. I'm a fan, Danielle. That's why I'm talking. I usually let everybody talk. I'm a fan. I seen this lady, man. Check this out. You know how I suck up everything.
Yeah.
And I was up there at O Athletic, and I recognized her from knowing who she was, and she was jumping rope with a damn with a.
Oh yeah, you're the one who told me that. You told me that. Yeah, yeah.
Man, I went and did it at the gym. My old man, I went and did it. I said, man, what's the deal with this shit? And I went to gym. I said, oh shit, that's a workout. I threw the rope down.
With the battle rope.
I said, yeah, the battle rope.
The battle rope.
Shit, what's this lady doing? But, so I've been an Instamatic fan, but you went from bleaching, so you found O Athletic. You hooked up with Cool. You started competing. How hard was it to find gals in your weight, the weight class you in? How many fights did you have before you made the team and you started competing?
5.
Rough. Huh?
I met the bare minimum to get to compete at nationals, and that's really because of the time that I took off. So when I came back, Michael Campbell was like, "Hey, you need to get some fights if you want to compete at nationals." I said, "Well, why would I want to compete at nationals? I didn't understand that."
Right.
To join the national team, I'm like, "Well, what does that mean?" I didn't understand it. So they're like, "Hey, we're having this tournament for the Horn." So I went to the Horn. I had 2 fights, 2 second-round knockouts. That really kind of let people know that I was in Houston.
Right.
And then I met the minimum to go to nationals. So then I looked online, and I had 1 loss on my record, and it was to this girl, Shadeja Green, which also taught me a boxing lesson. You never take a fight at someone's home. Like, you just don't do it. Like, that's not a decision. I don't care what if you don't knock them out, that's just the way the game goes. So
how many times I tell you that, Coach?
Yeah, because as basketball player, I score more points. I could be in your house. I can poop on your lawn. I can do whatever I want because I want to outscore you. That's not how boxing works.
Yeah, it doesn't translate.
It doesn't work like that. So I didn't know that. So, as a person new to the sport, people look at me and they're like, well, they assume that I know a lot. I don't know anything. So I was still learning a lot.
Boxing ain't a league, right, at all. At the professional level, the amateur level, none of that shit.
Yeah, it doesn't work the way you think it works. So I wanted to fight her so bad. When I saw that she was on the national team, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to nationals because I want that work. Listen, I'll take it today, I'll take it tomorrow, I'll take it whenever I can get it. Mm-hmm. And then she no-showed me.
You whooped her already. You whooped her already.
When I got it back the next time we fought on that, I remember when Team USA had the Showtime card.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Man, I cracked. So women wear these things called turtle shells. I cracked the turtle shell.
God.
You was trying to win. So you made the national team, bare minimum, and basically just you could catch them on a fight that they took from you. And now you find yourself on Team USA, and then they start telling you what. You gotta get rid of this.
So yeah, they hand over this bag of stuff and like a belt, and I'm like, all right, well then what happens next? We'll send you a contract. I was like, what in the world have I got myself into?
Shit started moving fast.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Then they send a list of all these camps and like all these times. I was like, I don't have time for this. I just got 2 puppies. I really don't have time. Be traveling all over the place. But my first tournament was Continentals, and I won my first gold medal. 35 seconds on a pool shot. It was great.
How'd that feel?
Nah, the thing about it is walking to the girl was a fan. She was like taking pictures with me all week. She was like, "Oh my God, you're so strong, you're so fast," and I was just like, "This is it's a good tactic because
Yeah.
it made me feel like I felt bad."
Nice.
Right,
Even the
right.
first shot, like she walked right into it. I was like, "It's all right. You'll
Yeah,
She
be
pro-
okay."
she
And
probably wanted you to autograph it after
oh
the
my
after the
God,
fight. Can
we
you
gave me
autograph it?
2 hugs after the fight. It was so strange. It was the
Yeah.
strangest fight I've ever had in my life. But
Nice.
she was real nice and real respectful. I mean, I never disrespect anybody that I get into the ring with. I don't believe in that because I'm going
right.
to, yeah, I'm gonna punch you. So I don't have to say anything mean to you. I'm going to hit you.
All right.
You so once you went to traveling and stuff, you dug it or what? What was the deal?
Well, all
You was
that's
like,
natural,
this is for
right?
me.
It was like being in basketball, huh? The
Yeah,
traveling aspect of it.
yeah. I mean, the traveling aspect of it was fine. I'm used to packing a bag, but usually our stays are like for a contract. I usually stay at a place for 6 months or 8 months. But we'd pack up, go to training camp for 3-4 weeks. Then we go to another training camp somewhere else for like 2-4 weeks, and then we finally get to the competition for like a week and a half. Then you have to wait for the drawing. It's like a constant it's constant change, which was something that was very different. And then of course, in basketball you only have your coach. Your coach all is always with you. So now at as for every single fight at Team USA, you have a series of different coaches that could be in your corner. And so you have to realize everybody wants you to win. So I know people try to take that away from other coaches because they feel like they're not the advice that their coach would give you. And of course it's not, because they're not your coach. They're here to kind of set standards and make sure that you can win as an amateur against the rules that are set in AIVA. So
Right.
like what they're telling you is very specific because they're trying to make sure that you collect the right amount of points, but also stay safe to continue to fight. So in my mind, I always think, well, I mean, I know that they're telling me what they think is best, but you as a fighter, you hold the controller, so those decisions you have to make on your own. And if
Right.
win or lose, I have to be able to sit with the decisions that I make, not the decisions that someone else has made.
Absolutely. Was there was there any coaches up on the team that you kind of took to that fit you, or not to degrade any of them? I'm saying, but somebody
No,
you paired up with it. Who's
yeah, I
that?
mean, I get what you're saying. So like Jeff Mays, he's a southpaw from Texas, and uh, Jeff is always like from the very beginning has always been in my corner, because Jeff he talks to me very plainly, and I appreciate that. He's very straightforward and candor. I don't need sugarcoating. I'm an adult. Um, but he also sits in my corner. He's like, "Hey, this is what I see. This is what you need to do." Billy's always going to be the head coach, and he also has great advice. No one's ever given me advice for me to lose, so I always appreciate them. I always appreciate what they do and what they bring to the table. But when it comes down to it, and when I needed to like have a sit down or have a better understanding, or even like kind of review some things that are possibilities going into a fight, I would sit with Jeff.
Jeff, I'm glad you said that because Jeff is my guy. Me and Jeff talk 3-4 times a week.
Love
Uh,
Jeff.
man, that's a good guy, man. And now our friendship is bigger than boxing. I mean, we talk whatever's going on, and that's a sincere, uh, capable, uh, just guy, and let alone boxing. So that doesn't surprise me at all, man. Jeff Mays is my guy, man, and I give him props every time amateur boxing comes up. I talk about him because I really like him, and he does a lot, man. The changes he's allowed Raven to make in her life through boxing is extraordinary, So she was on a roller coaster ride. If I'm not wrong, she was a basketball player, you
Yeah.
know. I think the collegiate level. I don't know exactly how far she went, but she was at a rough road. It was like Jeff was like, come on, and look at her. I think she was number one in a couple weight classes. That's
Yeah,
a bad girl, man. A young lady.
she's a hard
Yeah,
worker too. Like she's not a lot of the things that happen behind the scenes. We don't post about. We don't talk about. We just grind, and you should
right.
just know that when lights on, lights off, we're working. So COVID stopped
Absolutely.
nothing.
Absolutely.
What
Uh,
being in basketball, transitioning over to boxing and doing your thing. You know, I it's more to you as far as boxing. And I'm asking a question. You know, is it like it's almost whatever you pick and choose to do, whether it's boxing, whether it's basketball, there's something, is there something more that drives you just to be great in that particular thing that you're doing? And correct me if I'm wrong, it's not like you grew up in boxing and you fell in love with boxing and boxing's your world. It's almost as of, okay, I'm going to do this boxing thing. I'm going to be great at it. I'm going to work at it, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to excel in this sport, and then utilize this platform to either get to the next level in life and overall, or explain your relationship with boxing to us.
I love to compete. I love to compete purely because I like to win.
Right.
I'll put
That,
you in
that
a
that you know what? That's what it is.
I'll put you in a situation where I
Right.
know for a fact it's going to be difficult for me to win, but it's also going to be really hard for you to win. I love to compete.
Right. That's what it is.
I like setting traps. I mean, boxing to me is like, uh, when after I won world champion, my first world championship, I, I didn't realize like what was going on in the fight. Like I was so unconscious in front of my opponent. It was just like I could. And then when I watched it, I was like, "Oh, I'm playing tag. I'm having a great time, and it's like it's fun, and it's just like I'm having fun." And if you can do that with something, and especially like at any point in your life where you can be active and you can have fun and you can compete on a big stage, it's just like it's the escalation of goals. If you think about it, first I just wanted to win Golden Gloves. All right, cool. I did that. Now I
Right.
got to do something else. Now
Right.
I want to be a national champion. Cool. I did that. Well, what's next? Oh, you have Continental. So cool. I want to win that. And then
Right.
once you win that, you're like, well, you know what? I want to be a world champion.
There you
Once I won
go.
the world, I was like, I want that WBC belt. I want that belt. It's a vacant spot, and I want that. So
Yeah.
it's like I love to compete, and I like the escalation of goals. I think like that progress, it keeps you fresh, it keeps you current, and it keeps you motivated. If you don't have goals and you just fight for the sake of just fighting,
Right.
it's got to be something deeper.
And I think that's what I think, and I think that's what Coach, you're always talking about. You can teach someone how to box, but if they got to bring the character and integrity, are the X factors. And I think that's an example of it. Is
Absolutely.
being hungry to win and understanding that the work that you have to go through to win. The love of something isn't always enough. You have to put in the work, and you have to understand that in order to be a Golden Glove champion, a world champion, or I mean, a national champion, then a world champion, all that's levels, and as you accomplish each level, the work gets harder, the competition gets harder, the commitment. Now, how committed are you? And if you're someone like yourself, and a lot of other people that are committed to that pain and committed to that grind, well, then you fall in love with that process, and you just get hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. And not only does that apply to boxing, but I'm assuming that that's just a character that you have. So that's anything that you do in life, correct? Like, are you like that with everything else?
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
assuming so, right?
yeah. When I started at this company, I was just a trainer.
Right.
Now I went from trainer to like the manager of that club a year and a half later, to then becoming a part of the corporate transition team to take over clubs and like organize them and upgrade them to top 5 performers. And now I have 2 clubs, one in Austin and one in Houston. Like, yeah, just pretty much I
And
really do
so,
commit.
right. It's
Man,
all
yeah,
about, so. Go ahead.
Danielle, you're you're just more proof that what I was taught as a kid in boxing, uh, and I say this, and it ain't beating a dead drum because the world don't get it. Uh, when my dad said, "Son, the difference between the fighters that succeed and the ones who don't is drive and character, because the ability is not the missing key." See, everybody thinks if I go get with this coach, I'll be a champion. If I go get with this coach, I'll do this, because some coach develop a successful fighter, and what they don't understand is the things you guys go through, and pushing when everyone else will quit. Everyone else will find a reason that they can't do it. Because everybody wants to be a world champion. You don't believe that? Ask them. They'll tell you, "I want to be a world champion." But that character and drive is not there. Drive is, I want this level. Oh shit, I want that level.
Yeah.
Shit, I want that level, and I'm gonna keep going. And then the ability, as important as it is to fight correctly, there's an extraordinary amount of great fights that attain greatness. That ability wasn't a strong suit. In fact, some great fighters did everything wrong, but their drive and character to excel when the chips is down, when the average motherfucker quits or finds a reason to quit, that's the difference. See, everybody wants that secret formula. The secret formula is drive and character, and I can't develop that. You get some kids, you can bring it out. It's in them though. You can bring it out, and they'll keep working hard for you. And then you say, "All right, I got one." He might become something, but that's the secret formula. That's how a young lady who's a professional basketball player, whose career ends for whatever reason, and she accidentally runs into the boxing gym, or and says, "Shit, I'm an athlete," right? Because athletes don't translate. Athletes don't translate. You can be a great whatever, but in this boxing shit, it's gonna get revealed, bro. It's gonna get
Yeah.
revealed. All your the shit we hide. I tell my guys, I say, "Look, man, I got to talk. I got to uncover first, because you're gonna do everything in this world to hide who you are for real." But I know that. So, son, when I'm talking to you, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the guy that's saying right now, "What the fuck is Coach talking about?" Is he talking about this? Yes, that guy. That's the guy we got to reveal, because in that ring, when shit gets hard, that's the guy that's gonna quit. That's the
Yeah.
guy deep down that's gonna say, and I was just doing this at the gym. I said, "Man, your mind ain't your friend in this sport. In this sport, your mind, listen, it's thousands of years of evolution, that and not monkey evolution. I'm talking about man. Your your brain saying, hey man, that's trouble over there. We gotta go this way. Hey man, you can get hurt over there. We gotta go this way. Where's the exit?" And in boxing, there's nothing in boxing that's normal. But I gotta train you to do it till you thought that's how you always did. If somebody throwing a punch and I tell you, you got to go forward. You got to go forward in order to punch for him. Your brain is doing everything you can to say, "Motherfucker,
Go backwards.
get out the ring, man. Go this way. This is trouble this way." That takes a lot of character to go forward when the chips is down. Not when you're way faster than this guy. Not when this guy is not on your caliber, or lady is your caliber. I'm a big women's boxing fan. I'm sure you know that. That you everything in your genetic makeup is saying, "Bruh, this is why we got a thumb, so we can pick up a tree limb and knock you in the head with it because you're big and stronger than me," or whatever. That's that character, man, that it takes to be successful in fighting. And by the time these guys figure, by the time you figure, the boxing for everybody's hitting, not getting hit, man, that's elementary shit. Everybody knows that. This is the most honest form of deception it takes in order to win a boxing match against somebody. You got to believe this lie You telling them. Because they will never believe it. You said traps? Traps is how you win. I got to make this motherfucker think this is how good I am right here. As soon as he made that move, wow, you're out of there. You thought, but I got to believe that it worked and make it second nature. Listen, give me somebody who's driven and has the character to get back up after they've been knocked on their ass or took an ass whooping and sparring, and we'll be something. You'll be successful. And that's the difference. I don't give a damn if it's a basketball player who's got that to the, filled with that to the brim. Give him to me. Watch what I do with him in this sport, because he'll take the ass whippings. He'll take the ass whippings. The biggest lies in this sport is these guys who, like Lil Floyd, he's undefeated and all that. Man, you think Lil Floyd ain't got his ass spanked and sparring and shit? That's what made him great. And he came back to the gymnasium to say, man, this dude ain't better than me. I was fucking up. I wasn't shaking. Let me show you. That's the difference. And that's why I believe you were able to succeed in this sport, starting late, not having a background in it, none of that. And then you get with a guy who teaches you how to fight.
Forget about it.
Yeah, I got to be over to that evolution myself, because that's the whole basis of my boxing. So I'm not gonna fight it when somebody brings that gang of credit, gang of character and drive. Now, a 22-year-old comes in the gym and say, "I want to fight." Well, let me see.
Right.
I ain't gonna say, "This is too late for this." Now, let's see, man. Let's see what he's gonna do. Yeah, it's a real sport.
Talking about character and drive, and obviously you have it. What is it that motivates you with that? What is it that's pushing you? What is it that keeps that fire under you to showing up every day and doing, training and sparring and fighting?
I have a legacy that I'm building.
That's a big word.
I want to be that heavyweight that no one ever forgets. Fast, quick, strong, agile, like all the components. I'm 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. I'm fast, and I hit hard. But I want to be better than that. More than that, so that every day I think about that. I mean, I get into the ring with Joe Jordan. I got to bring my nuts, because this guy's faster, he's stronger, he's more agile. It's just like, I tell him even afterwards, I was like, if I just keep up and just pick up pieces of what you bring to the table, it's just all that matters. I don't have to win. When I played basketball, I never played against the girls, because that brought nothing. I wanted to score 40, 50 points a game in high school. I used to score 60 points a game in high school. Not playing against girls. I need to get my ass whipped every single day. If I can keep up with the speed, keep up with the agility of all these other dudes, girls are cakewalks.
Right.
Bar with women, it's like, no offense, but that's just a waste of time. I need to get my ass whooped. I need someone who's gonna be relentless, someone who's gonna put the pressure on me, who's gonna make me have to pay for my mistakes on site. So
that's how you learn. That's how you get better. Right.
Yeah.
No substitute. Substitute for it.
When I love talking to people who use certain words, and legacy is such a big word. So much meaning behind it, because it's not a short-term thing. It's not an instant thing. It's not one of these things that I'm going to go do tomorrow. You can't do shit when it comes to legacy. There's nothing that you can do tomorrow about it. It's the little tiny things that you do. The tiny things, not big things. The little tiny things that you do every day. For 10 years, for 5 years, for 15 years, for 20 years. That's a legacy. And I think we live in a culture where everybody wants to hit a home run. Everybody wants to become Instagram famous. Everybody wants 1 million followers, overnight. Everybody wants to achieve greatness, one hitter quitter, something right away. And legacy, when a person understands what a legacy really means, and it doesn't have to be a worldwide legacy. Muhammad Ali left the world a legacy, right? But that level of legacy isn't for everyone. Like for me, I want to leave a legacy, right? But I'm leaving it for my family, right? I'm leaving it for generations of my seed. It might not be on a world level, like a Muhammad Ali or a Michael Jordan or LeBron James, but my legacy can be just as meaningful to my lineage of a family that's coming forward. And so when people have that kind of mentality, they just live differently. They approach life differently. They understand that nothing's going to happen overnight. And I, like I said, I love when people talk about that, because they just walk different, they work different, they live different, and it reflects in what they're doing. Again, Golden Glove champion, national champion, elite national champion, 2018 world champion, 2019 world champion. So, the proof is in the pudding, and that's amazing.
She didn't start late. She started right on time. You don't accomplish shit like that unless you right in the right groove where you supposed to be, man. I want to get to the pro thing, man. What was the decision? All right, it's time to go now. What we gonna do? What was the catalyst to we gonna turn pro?
Well, I mean, when originally when I went to my first world championship, I before I left, I said, "Hey, Coop, when I come back with this gold medal, we going pro." Like, we're taking the mittens off, the headgear comes off, we coming back, and it's work time. So he was overseas doing something else. He had a work thing, and I text him. Usually, I text him or I let him know who I'm fighting. So I had the defending world champ, and in the first round, I tore my meniscus and ripped up my ACL. And I know, I just how it goes, man.
You're doing big. You're doing big. Everything. You're doing it big.
Yeah. So I came back after the first round, and I sat in the corner, and Billy and Kay were in the corner, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "My knee's messed up." They're like, "Can you fight?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can fight. I can finish this fight. Like, I can beat this girl on one leg. This is what it is." So I won the fight, and then after the fight, I couldn't walk anymore. And that's the first time I was supposed to fight China. And I even had a conversation with coach and the doctor. I was like, "Look, I know, like, my knee is swollen. I don't really need to move that much. I could beat these girls on one leg." The doctor cleared me. They medically withdrew me from the tournament, and I finished number 3 in the world, coming in as number 1. So that really kind of got the wheels spinning. I was like, we have world next year, and when I win world next year, I'm coming back with gold, and we're going pro. And that was just a conversation. So I want the WBT belt, but I feel like things have to happen in stages.
Right. You stick to it, and you're gonna get there. As far as not rushing, yeah, you rush anything, you get in trouble. But so that was the game plan out the gate when you were still going to the world, was to turn professional. Now, you don't see much. I don't know nothing about. I really can't tell you a name other than you. As far as your division, your weight class, how you keeping your eyes on these the opponents out here? I mean, I imagine you try to see who's ranked and who ain't. Because I don't know, man. I don't know the heavyweight division. Because you're gonna fight 200 pounds. That's what you're gonna fight.
Well, I'm gonna work on between 2 weight classes to see more action. So I'm gonna fight cruiser and heavy.
Okay. And I said, did you say it was vacant? The World Boxing Council doesn't have a heavyweight champion?
They do not have a heavyweight. Jimenez, who fought
go get her for me. Yeah. Go get her for me.
Yeah, she was the former super heavy, and I was hoping she would hold on to that because I wanted to fight her, but I could fight her as a cruiser.
Yeah, go get her because
yeah, she's due.
We're big fans of women's boxing, and anytime we get a woman boxer in the show, we love it. We love promoting it.
I appreciate that.
And we want to see it. It's exciting. Women's fighting is exciting. It's fun to watch. You guys, and Coach says this all the time, you bring a different level of energy. You guys are really putting on a show. But finding fighters and finding opponents is tough. What kind of conversations are y'all having when y'all have your meetings as far as how you can help promote women's boxing and getting more women fighters involved in women boxing, and your game plan as far as your career? Like, what is it that you would like to see happen within the next 2 to 3 years with your career?
Well, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of people in Houston who really sit in my corner, like Lynn Collins and Forrest. They're very good people.
Next fight up.
Yeah, have always kind of sat in my corner, and having a good relationship with decent promoters. No one's asked me for anything. They've been there for me. So the game plan essentially is a fight between the two weight classes. Take the titles, the WBC. I want that super heavy. I think that will be either my first title, and then kind of drop down into that cruiser, take that title, and then go IBO, and then defend my titles, make it mandatory, and make people have to come and get it. Because I don't mind fighting, so I'm not gonna hide or sit on a title. I'm gonna fight. Right. Anyone who wants to step up, they can step in the ring and we can work. I want to stay as active as possible.
Step up to get beat down.
Hey,
yeah. I told Quentin, I said, look at man, when you make it to the title, you get a title shot, bro. I always said my first world champion got to come out to the ring with brand new, punch jump up and get beat down. I said, that's just my deal. It's non-negotiable. I said, I got you, Coach. I got you.
What about shadow boxing? I like Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Ain't nothing to fuck with. Yeah. I tell you, man, at this pro level, and it's I joke and play. I like everybody. I tend to think I'm easy to get along with guys. But this pro level, man, you got to sell shit because it is a business. You got to sell people on shit. Now, I don't like the gimmick shit. These gimmicks and a lot of people, the false bravado, it usually blows up in their face because in this world, the warts, you're gonna uncover the warts. I'm gonna see. The whole game is uncovering your insecurity, and then I drown you with it. So I don't like the gimmicks, man. But you got to find your groove with this the professional peak interest. And it's sometimes it's all. And I don't pretend to know the answer for what's the best way to drum up things. And like Manny said, it's kind of a cop-out to say I'm a fan of women's boxing because what it is I'm a fan of boxing. And if a woman's boxing, I'm a fan. So this is the thing. Women, I kind of think women bring to the table this. All that mama bear protectiveness, all that, when your wife, all that fuck you, bro. Women are amazing, man. Yeah. My mama was a woman. I know. My mama was a woman. So, a woman carries the world, man. Yeah. And I say, man, you get them wanting to win, you're in a pinch now. So, and I think it's twofold. Women have to fight the best out there to even get displayed, to even get a stage to perform on. You got to fight the best, which is great. But I also think this. I also think if a woman gives it all, y'all bang it out. Y'all bang it out. The woman who loses ain't necessarily going to be shut down like let me bridge this gap. Let me bridge this gap. A Toro guy that could lose 10 fights and the whole world was coming back the next one and pay for because he left everything out there for you. And a Toro guy got stomped out whenever he fought a elite fighter. It wasn't never even competitive, right? But you knew that next fight, a Toro guy that was gonna be in shape, he was gonna come to win and fight. And if you slipping and your character ain't enough, he's gonna test you. He's gonna get you. And that's the beautiful thing about boxing. I think the women, y'all in a good it's plenty of negatives, with people not wanting to having talking down on women, about dismissive and shit, which is totally disrespect when I stand up against it on social media anyway, right? Because I know what y'all doing is no different than what I'm doing. In fact, it's a little hard because of that. People not wanting to give y'all just due, but women let it all hang out. I think if two women go at this and whoever comes up short, it's all right because they going at it, and I bet you it just brings more eyes to the table. So man,
Right.
yeah, when does she fight again? When does she? It's just the display. We just need to bucket up and find ways. You girls need to find a way to promote the business part. Hey, I don't know if your angle is the basketball angle. I don't know if your angle is the New York angle. I don't know what your angle is. I don't know, but you need one to get the minds in there, man. Because all you're trying to do is trick them into getting up there to see you. So once they see you, you're gonna do the rest. I love watching girls fight because y'all leave it to hang out, everything out there for the whole world to see, and that's what it's about, man. Who's gonna win? I like it.
What's a day in the life for you? From waking up in the morning to laying down at night.
Oh, well, days are complicated. So usually I get to work at 6 a.m. and I'm done with work at 3. Usually I get like a hour and a half break where I'll go and I'll just do like a high intensity lift. Then I'll go home, walk my dog, grab my gym bag, and I head to the gym. Usually training's roughly about 2.5, 3 hours, and then I'll usually do some cardio afterwards. And then I go home and I do my homework. I have 12 credits left on my MBA.
Oh, nice. What are you doing?
MBA in finance at the
Nice.
Keller University. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
one of the things that I got from USA Boxing. If you get a gold medal, you'll get a scholarship. So I took that scholarship
Wow.
and I
That's
put it right into
amazing.
my MBA. I'm just about done. I should be done
So you playing chess. That's what you doing.
always.
You playing chess. You just putting yourself in the right position, in the best possible position that you can with everything with what you got on the board. That's
With
brilliant.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a day in the life. What about what changes when you go into camp?
Nothing.
Nothing. So you in camp, whether
Well,
you got a fight coming up or not.
yeah, we always
Yeah.
stay ready to fight. I really don't. I can't afford to take time off because I'm not that good. So
Wow.
I always need to study and I always need to stay sharp. The intensity changes, of course, in camp, but the time frame doesn't. Like I need to have that time.
Let's talk about something that's very relative to you and even someone like me. You can ask Coach. I'm in the gym 5 days a week. I'm there before anyone else gets there, and I'm usually one of the last ones to leave. And I'm working, and it's a fucking toll on our body,
Hmm.
right? I'm not in my 20s. I
Right.
can't, right? So what are some things that you do to help with that, to heal your body, to rest your body? Do you take supplements? Do you do any like chirotherapy? Like what is it that you do for what would the word be? Preventative or maintenance or but you know where I'm going, right? The question I'm
Yeah,
asking.
you mean more like how I
Do you ice down,
right.
ice baths? What is it that you do?
Well, when I was at the OTC, I learned how to do cupping, so I have a cupping set. I also have a trigger point gun. I've gotten accustomed to ice bath. I can sit in an ice bath 20 minutes. I,
That's
all
it
I
right
do.
there. That's the one right there. That's the
Yeah,
one.
that's the best. I take an
Is
ice
it?
bath before every single fight. I just sit down, set my clock. I mean, even when we were in Russia, I was having ice baths before every single match. The night before, rest my legs, regenerate. And I mostly, for the most part, I eat really well. I eat very clean diet. I don't do supplements because I like whole foods.
Touch on the diet real quick. What is it? What do you like to focus on, and what do you stay away from as
I
far
usually
as
stay away
diet?
from I usually stay away from red meat as much as I can get fish, a lot of
I
fruits.
love steaks.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like it's just the digestive part. Like I can't
Right.
have anything slowing
Right.
down my system. I
Mm-hmm.
can't have anything that's gonna cause acid reflux during a
Right.
fight, or anything that's gonna slow me down. Like I need my mind clear. I need my digestive tract clear. I need everything to be functioning at optimum because I need to function at my best. So I just eat like that as often as possible. Don't get me wrong. I hit up a taco truck. I love taco trucks. Also, I mean, I
I
enjoy.
know a great one. I know a great food truck. I'll hit you. I'll send you the info. So eating right, right, staying away from the red meats, a lot of fish, vegetables, greens, um,
Water, lots of
a lot of
water,
water. Yeah, yeah.
and
So you're
protein
doing
wise.
you're doing that for your nutritional value, and then as far as maintenance, you're doing ice baths. See, someone's listening right now. And someone's taking notes because, like I said, when we put our body through what we put it through. I wake up sore every single day. I'm in pain every single day, and sometimes in my mind I'm like, fuck, man, all I do is work out. Why do I feel like this? I'm tearing up my fucking body, and it has a lot to do with our diet. It has a lot to do with how we're healing up. So ice baths, cupping. I used to do cupping. It just the lady that was doing it for me was all the way on the other side of town. I haven't been able to go. But do you feel like it works for you?
Yeah, I mean, because of usually I get like a massage a week also,
Right.
but because of this pandemic, I haven't been able to get a massage, and
Mm-hmm.
you really feel the difference in that, like not being able to have with that having that taken out of my routine has really kind of had an impact. I'll be happy to have that back, but for the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
part, yeah, it's pretty
big
much.
time.
And when
Man,
Manny I started training, man, shit, I don't know how long ago now. But
uh,
he,
4 or 5 years ago.
yeah, we ended up in the gym. When I came home and a couple of my amateurs called me, like, Coach, I see you home, bro. What the fuck we doing? Because they had quit boxing, and I said, well, all right, shit. So I went to the local, the gym closest to me. I went up there and asked the guy, which I knew him, and asked him, could I train some kids in here? How much I give it to him. And long story short, Manny was up at the gym there already. And, he came in just to get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, Quentin walks back in the door. Some other fighters start walking back in the door, and I'm really the fight coach over there, getting, training fighters. And Manny he was man, I want you to train. I said, hey, man. I said, because everybody comes to me like that. I don't look for fighters. And I said, hey, man, you was here already. I don't even want that type of shit. And then, hell, you my age. The hell you trying to do? You hit the bag, man. Go hit the bag. And it's so bitch. You talk about drive and character. He'll let a month go by. Say, man, I need you to train me, man. So finally, Danielle, after I don't know how long, I said, look here, man. Because I like him. We hit it off as friends. I said, you go ask your coach over there, do you care if he train? And if he says he don't care, all right, man. You done beat me down, right? So show us his thing. He went over there and said, yeah, he don't care. I said, you don't care if this guy trains with me? He said, nah, man, go ahead. And to his defense, Ray
Zaragoza.
Zaragoza, I mean, I think he's 71 now, 72. So he's up there just working with the kids,
Yeah.
And he's been in boxing all his life too. And so it wasn't like he was messing over
Right.
about letting him go somewhere.
Right.
Now, he's just up there working with the kids. So I took Manny on. I said, all right. So all the fighters was like, "Hey, you're taking him on." I said, "Yeah, man. You see, he's up here working." I said, "We'll train him, and if we can find a
A
master,
Masters.
fight, masters, whatever, we'll fight him." And so, man, that damn man, like he said, Danielle, he shows up and he's sweating, stopping with already there. So he goes. Part of his makeup is this, man, and this is a good thing. Man is always looking for the edge, right? This is what I need to know. The problem is everybody else don't have to convince him he'll do it. I gotta convince the motherfucker. Now, get this now. And he'll say, "Hey, man, stop me if I'm lying. Stop me if I'm lying. Coach, man, I said, stop working out, man. Stay home for a couple of days, man. Rest. You need some rest." "No, man, I can't be rest." Okay. So he'll spar with one of them young boys, and he bangs back with it. My young fighters, they give it to him. He's giving it back. He's fighting.
What?
So for the next 2 days, man, coach, my knee. Listen, man, stay home. Stay home. Your body's telling you it needs rest. Nah, I don't think I need rest. I gotta convince this motherfucker. I know what I'm talking about. I gotta convince him. It don't matter what he does. He's looking for that edge. But I think at some point, like he had to go get some cortisone and shit.
Yeah, I got him.
And so he would start resting up. Now he understand. That's probably like, what you do to recover?
Yeah, 1,000%. That's why I'm asking. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man,
I'm trying to. Fuck.
When you're in tune, now listen, I don't believe in none of the hocus pocus bullshit, right? It's not my experience. I could believe myself into but I don't think it's hocus pocus when a fighter's in tune with themselves.
Yeah.
You can actually, and I didn't make this up. I just agreed with it. I remember X said they asked X something about his diet and stuff, and Bernard Hopkins said, "Man, when I walk into the Whole Foods," he said, "when I walk into the Whole Foods, my body don't even want soda and shit like that. My body, I see that, and my body goes, ugh. And I just listen to it." He said, "I walk through the vegetables, and my body will be like excited, because what it is you see the nourishment. Your body is reacting to the nourishment. It's not hocus pocus. You just saying this is fuel. This is good." Well, it's the same thing with time. Hey, your body saying, "Say, bro, sit your ass down somewhere, man." I knew a guy, a Jamaican guy, right? And I'm sorry, not Jamaican. One of the islands. Anyway, man, it's so good. I met him, and he was damn near 52 years old, man. And I met him when I was 26 or 7. He looked younger than me, right? Now, he told me, he said, "Man, I'm 50. Get the fuck out." He gave me his license. I said, "How the heck?" I know the black don't crack shit, and we I get all that. But bro, you look younger than me, and I'm 26 years old, man.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Coach, when I'm tired, I sleep.
All right, yeah.
When I'm hungry, I eat. I don't do nothing to the extreme." He said, "Man, people don't know if they just go sit their ass down somewhere and relax."
Right.
It made it, and I kept that with me. I said, "That's true, man."
That's one of the things we got. We have a fighter he's a gym resident, Mike. And that's the one thing that I take away from Mike. Mike is always reminding me, you gotta rest, you gotta sleep. So let me ask you that. How's your sleeping habits, right? Because he's like, especially during a fight, during camp, he's like, you gotta sleep 8 to 10 hours. You gotta let your body rejuvenate and rest.
10 hours
How
is
does
important.
Yeah. How that's for you? 10
Yeah, I
hours?
get 10
Yeah.
hours, and I'll nap. If I
Yeah.
get tired, I just take like a 30 minutes, sometimes a 2 hour. Yesterday, I got home. I was after training. I was like, man, I'm gonna take me a nap. I want to sleep for 3 hours.
Nice.
If you get tired, I mean, that's the thing. Your body's letting you know it's tired. Like, why ignore that? You need to be. It's true. You got to be in tune with your body because that's your weapon. And if your weapon's not sharp, you're going to be in a world in trouble when you try to call on things and it's not prepared to work or it doesn't want to work. Or because even when you get hurt and you get hurt in a fight and you're in tune with your abilities, you can still fight. And yet the person across you has no idea what's going on.
All right. All right.
Right.
Man, it was great having you. So you were a basketball player. Now you're boxing. You're working on your MBA on finance. When you become world champion and you achieved everything that you want to achieve in boxing, where do you want? What is it that you want to do and focus on after boxing?
I want to open up like 16 Popeyes.
Not 16 Popeyes.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, but
Yeah.
keep in mind. But business is it's always good to have residual income. I always try to think, boxing is a great platform for a lot of things, social economic conversations, women's rights. Like there's a lot of things that can come that fighters can use their platform to propel like positive and social change. Um, I don't know where and what. I haven't really thought about it. I kind of work in the moment. Like when I started
Nice.
boxing, I never really thought like this would happen. But when you believe in yourself, it's just like, it's one of those corny little Disney things where you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything, It's
Yeah.
just like, it's simple
What was
concept, but, it's just reality.
what is it? What is it? Kevin Garnett screamed out. What did he say when he won the championship? Anything's possible. He said anything's possible or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that was a great man. That was a great show. I love it. I had a great time.
When hopefully the show goes through. I seen Joe.
Yeah.
Man has got the computer. I can't see really the comments,
There you
but
go. So Joe,
look,
Joe with next fight up says current date is still June 27th with a backup of July 11th. As it's looking, July will more than likely be the date that is approved. If not, I will be filing a lawsuit on behalf of all licensed promoters, fighters, and trainers to reopen. Well, I tell you, it's always good to have a lawyer as a friend.
yeah. We'll keep them updated, and of course, I'm gonna promote your show on all our platforms.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And promote that you're fighting. I have, like I said, I have a soft spot, I guess you would say, for the female fighters because I know y'all doing the exact same shit and ain't getting the
equal love.
The equal love, right? I'm not no activist. Although people may confuse me for one, but I just think right is right. I just think right is right. That's all.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say?
Damn your brother, man. Hey, there's so many things, bro. Shit is gray, man. And people want shit to be black and white, man. No, that ain't how the world works, man. This shit is gray. You got to see what's right and go with it, right? So I'm an advocate of women's boxing, and I'm gonna continue to be and keep pushing it. So when I'm fans of you, you being local, I'm a super fan. So we gonna go ahead and promote it out there. And let me ask you this. Before we go. I don't know if Manny was trying to run off, but look.
No, you're good.
All right, look. Now the whole wide world knows about me and Carissa. That's my number one. What you think about, she catches a lot of flack for the nickname. I think it's a bunch of how Shakespeare said, bunch of do about nothing. How you say it? I think she's being criticized for shit that ain't. It's real. They making it something in order to denounce it. But that's my opinion. And I understand other people have different opinions, but it seems like she catches a little flack, man, and I think the girl's remarkable what she's achieved and what she's doing. Uh, or you think she catches criticism like most females just for being a female boxer, or what? What's
No,
your
they expect Clarissa to be quiet, to win and be quiet and kind of sit into a box. So if she was a guy, she'd be like the most sought after, highest sponsored. So I
1,000%?
appreciate that she speaks the way she speaks. She speaks from her heart. Like she's earned every single belt. She's broken her back to get where she's at, and it's just like mild criticism, one thing after another. So I appreciate Clarissa. She's breaking through several barriers within a short time frame. And if people want to criticize that, people criticize Martin, people criticize Ali when he changed his name. So people going to criticize. They don't like change, and you know what? Fuck them. Go ahead.
Look,
Change is
with
uncomfortable.
any
Change is
with any
uncomfortable, but it ain't our duty to make you comfortable.
when it
I'm not gonna put kid glove on for grown motherfuckers. I'm not never gonna do that, man. And
any
I agree with you.
with any level of success, you're gonna get criticized, right? They're gonna criticize Clarissa for being outspoken and for saying things. But I bet you what, if she was quiet and soft spoken, they would criticize her for hey,
Yes.
she doesn't have a personality, she doesn't have that it factor, she doesn't have what it takes to so. It doesn't matter. People are always going to speak. People are always going to have something negative to say because that's who they are. That's the nature of business and anything that you do. So it's just something that you have to be prepared for and strategize for it, right? You gotta leverage all that shit for your advantage.
And the female fighters need to stand behind each other. Like, I stand behind Michaela. I stand behind Jenny. I stand behind Clarissa.
That's the key.
I stand behind friend Sean. Like, I stand behind Raquel. Like, these are all women that came before me into the professional game, and we all came from the same place. And if we can't stand up for each other and stand next to each other when things like this happen, then it's all going to crumble.
It's got to be for the greater of the good.
All the time.
That's before I let you go, I want to send a shout out to my man Peter Kine, who announced this week about signing Quentin Randall to a management deal. And
congrats to Quentin, man. That's good. I'm glad he got
signed. And I was glad we was able to come to the agreement. And this guy, I think he's the right guy, and he's a mover and shaker. So I'm looking for some good things this year. For the rest of the year and then next year, just bagging that announcement, man. I was proud somebody stepped up and go ahead and jump all the way in 2 feet.
Yeah, for sure. That's big. That's big. I mean, because Quinn is one of my brothers from Team USA.
That's right.
Quinn shared a room for our first team nationals together, and then we shared a room for the next belt that we won. Like, I've known Quentin for a short period of time, but he's one of the people. Anytime we stand up for each other,
absolutely,
he's a great kid,
and deserve it, of certain things because he earned it, not because you're supposed to just give it to him.
He's hardworking. Quentin definitely works hard, no question about it.
Absolutely, Dan. Yeah, I appreciate it. Shout out to franchise, man. I would love to get her on the show, man, because I've been watching. I knew she was a touted amateur, but watching her in there with Clarissa, I said, "Oh, this girl's tough." And then, I'm glad the WBC gave her a title back. I think yesterday, but
yeah,
I'm not. Once you do the right thing, here's my thing. If we criticize the wrong thing, once you do the right thing. Hey, if you're asking for empathy from people when wrong shit happens, when they do the right thing, I think it's admirable for somebody to say, okay, that's all we're asking for, the right thing. Right. And so I applaud the WBC with reinstating franchise Cruz as their world champion because she didn't lose. And she put up a hell of a fight anyway. I mean, whatever side
listen, she was fighting someone who was 100% not in her
super dirty, right? Super dirty, man. Super dirty.
Oh. I want that fight. I want to fight Jimenez. I don't care. You had a PEDs. I don't care. I'll take it all.
You heard her.
Hopefully when y'all do that, because it's gonna happen. Hopefully when y'all do that, I got somebody on the card or it's local where I can get there because I'm gonna be full force. You know, I'm riding with that all the way.
All right, H-Town. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Danielle, thank you so much for being on the show. I want to apologize to Earl Spence. We ran out of time again, my man. We're going to get you in soon, bro.
Earl, I apologize, brother.
Danielle took all your time, but we'll get you in on the next show. Earl Spence. All right, H-Town. It's your boy Manny and the coach.
Danielle Perkins. We out.
Appreciate y'all.
Bye.